SpaceX dominates commercial launch. They fly more payload to orbit than everyone else combined, and their Falcon 9 is the most flown rocket in history, but the monopoly era may be ending. Billions of dollars are quietly flowing into a new generation of launch companies, and several of them are targeting the exact same customers SpaceX serves today. Here are 5 companies actually chasing SpaceX. Number 1. Stoke Space. The Falcon 9 is a money printer because the first stage is reusable. Stoke Space thinks that's only half the equation. They're building a medium-lift rocket called Nova where both stages are fully and rapidly reusable. The second stage uses an actively cooled metallic heat shield. Cryogenic hydrogen circulates through it during re-entry, replacing the fragile ceramic tiles SpaceX uses on Starship. They've raised $1.34 billion to date, including an $860 million Series D. The U.S. Space Force added them to the National Security Space Launch Program, meaning they can compete for defense launches once Nova is demonstrated and certified. Their launch complex at Cape Canaveral is targeting activation in 2026, with a first Nova launch expected sometime this year. Fully reusable, medium lift, and already cleared for national security work before a single orbital flight. Number 2. Rocket Lab. While most aerospace companies build rockets out of aluminum-lithium alloys, Rocket Lab weaves theirs from 3D woven carbon fiber, lighter, stronger, and manufacturable faster. Their small electron rocket has already completed over 80 missions. They are the undisputed number 2 in private commercial launch. Now they're finishing Neutron, a medium-lift reusable rocket designed to compete directly with Falcon 9 on price. It features a fixed nose cone with a clamshell fairing called Hungry Hippo that opens, releases satellites, closes back up, and returns to land with the first stage. No discarded hardware. They launch from both Virginia and a private orbital launch site in New Zealand, giving them flexible scheduling for commercial and government customers. Neutron's first flight is targeted for 2026. Number 3. Relativity Space. Traditional rocket manufacturing involves thousands of individual parts sourced from global supply chains. Relativity's answer: build the world's largest metal 3D printers, called Stargate, and print the rocket itself. After flying the world's first 3D printed rocket, their small Terran 1, they pivoted entirely to Terran R, a large, partially reusable rocket targeting the same payload class as Falcon 9. 3D printing reduces part count significantly and compresses the manufacturing timeline. It launches from Cape Canaveral and is targeting a first flight in 2026. It's one of the most ambitious bets in the new space industry, and they haven't flown it yet. Number 4. Project Kuiper. This isn't a rocket company. It's Amazon's direct assault on SpaceX's most profitable business, Starlink. Amazon is investing over $10 billion to deploy a constellation of more than 3,200 internet satellites in low Earth orbit. The FCC requires at least half the constellation to be operational by July 2026. Here's the twist. Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' rocket company, faced years of delays with its New Glenn rocket. So Amazon bought launch capacity from nearly every available provider to hit that deadline, including United Launch Alliance, Arianespace, and yes, SpaceX itself. Amazon has been launching Kuiper satellites on Falcon 9 rockets. Amazon is writing checks to the exact competitor it's trying to unseat, because missing the FCC deadline would be worse. Peak corporate chess. Number 5. Blue Origin. Jeff Bezos founded Blue Origin in 2000, a year before SpaceX. For most of that time, they were a punchline. Years of delays, a rocket that only reached suborbital space, and a reputation for moving at geological speed. Then New Glenn arrived, a massive heavy-lift rocket with a reusable first stage, targeting the same national security and commercial customers as Falcon 9. It reached orbit on its first attempt in early 2025. That's genuinely hard to do. They followed it with a second successful flight. The U.S. Space Force added them to the National Security Space Launch Program and just days ago awarded them their first military launch contract, a National Reconnaissance Office mission. But here's where it gets complicated. Their third mission in April 2026 suffered a second stage malfunction, placing a commercial satellite in the wrong orbit and destroying it. Then on May 28th, during a routine static fire test for Mission 4, New Glenn exploded on the launch pad. The damage to their Sol launch complex is significant, with some estimates putting full recovery as far out as 2028. Blue Origin says they'll return to flight before the end of 2026. The Space Force reaffirmed their partnership and awarded them a military launch contract the same day the rocket exploded. But with their only launch pad damaged and the investigation still ongoing, their near-term schedule is genuinely uncertain. Whether they recover quickly or slowly tells you a lot about whether this race is real. SpaceX is still the clear leader. Falcon 9 is reliable, cost-competitive, and flying constantly. But for the first time, there are credible, well-funded competitors across every segment SpaceX dominates: medium lift, satellite internet, and heavy cargo. None of these companies have beaten SpaceX yet. Some haven't even reached orbit. One just blew up its launch pad. But the funding is real, the contracts are real, and the pressure is building. The launch industry is finally getting competitive. It's just messier than the highlight reels suggest. Which of these 5 are you watching? Drop a comment below.